Catherine, thank you again for accepting our invitation to be in Curacao Chronicle. You, as a professional in the real estate market here in Curacao, can you tell us how the housing market is, both local and international?
Internationally, we're doing quite well in terms of people coming. The interest has risen drastically over the last number of years for people coming from Western Europe, Canada, the United States, as a place either to come to retire to or for a second home for investment. In the last, and especially since Hurricane Irma, and people are really seeking properties outside of the hurricane belt and not necessarily in the southern United States. So it has been going very well for the foreign market. Locally, the local economy and places like Tony Kunchi and Semikok have sort of fallen out of fashion, and I'd say the local market is not doing as well as the international market for foreign buyers.
So now you mentioned those areas, that means that the resorts and the new projects, those are the ones doing quite well?
Correct. I would say all our beach communities where we are today here at Ube, Casabao, Coral Estates, especially properties that are gated with beach or beach access, properties where there's a mixed venue. For example, here in Ube we have condominiums as well as homes, private homes where you live full time, or we also have vacation homes as well.
Is the government policies and actually the way the government's doing business, is it actually helping people when they try to acquire a house here, or is it actually giving it a little bit of trouble?
I would say from the immigration standpoint, and that's actually where it lies in what people want, is they would like to be here either 6 months out of the year or full-time as a retiree. I feel honestly that anybody that purchases any property at any price, there is an investor permit, but there's a minimum amount that you have to spend. I think if it was changed to any amount, because even if somebody's buying a lower end property, a smaller apartment, they do come to the island quite often, and they do spend money here, and they spend money into the local economy, which would then therefore help the local economy. And when they're renting out those properties, if they're renting it out as a vacation rental, the government is also getting the 7% room tax as well. So by enabling people to come easier and stay longer, for example, Canada and all of Western Europe, the stay here is only 3 months at the moment. If you have an investor's permit where you've spent over a minimum amount of money, which is quite high, then you're only, at the low end, you're given 1 year, and you have to renew every year. And at the high end, you're given either a lifetime or 5 years. But that said, that's people spending more than $1 million. And that's not attainable for the majority. And the majority would like to come quite often, enjoy the island, but they're only here depositing money. They're not taking anything from the economy, they're only adding to it. They're purchasing cars, they're using the gasoline on the island, they're buying food on the island, they're eating out at restaurants a lot. The people who do tend to buy a second home here tend to have the highest disposable income that you would see in your home country, because they can actually afford, because actually too, most people do purchase their properties here for cash. They tend not to be borrowing, so therefore it is their expendable income that they're spending and choosing to spend here.
Okay. What would you recommend then to someone internationally who wants to invest, buy some houses? How can they prepare themselves to better tackle those issues?
Well, basically, they have to make some decisions. When they do come, they can get their visa extended, but they do have to pay for that when they're here. So a 3-month visa, where you don't need a visa at all and to travel, you can extend that 3 months to 6 months. But you would have to pay for it, and there is quite a bit of paperwork involved. The other choice is, of course, to become a pensionado, and that's to be here full time.
It's like a pensioner?
A pensioner. Yes. So early retire is what we see most. And that will give you a yearly renewable visa to stay and live here or come and go as you please.
Okay.
The other way is, of course, to obtain an investor permit.
Okay. So you say that actually before they do that, they have to prepare all those papers before they come to the island.
I do warn them, so when they come and they make their purchase and then they return home, I've usually set them up with an immigration counselor, and they are then given the paperwork list of items that they need in order to complete whichever visa that they would like.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.